Hola a todos, muy buenos días. Primero queremos darle la bienvenida a todo este evento FinTech Demo Day organizado por Camchal, en donde conoceremos a 5 FinTech del ecosistema chileno y además también tendremos una breve presentación de otros expertos FinTech, tanto del rubro local como internacional, de Alemania específicamente. Bueno, primero me gustaría presentarme, soy Diego Monar Catalán, Senior Consultant de EY, que trabaja en la consultoría para la industria financiera en la oficina de Chile y también uno de los líderes del Capability de FinTech también en FSO. Contarles que estamos trabajando en la segunda radiografía FinTech durante este año, que va a recoger datos de la FinTech chilena, junto también con la Asociación de FinTech Chile, que por ahí anda Ángel, que también estamos participando activamente, a ver si es que podemos revelar algunos de los datos que estamos concluyendo desde ya. Bueno, como igual estamos muy contentos de estar acá aportando y contribuyendo a crear esta nueva industria financiera y sobre todo entendiendo el contexto de nivel mundial que está originado en la pandemia, ¿cierto? Este COVID-19 y esta crisis sanitaria que ha cambiado nuestras vidas por completo. Y de esta misma forma ha revolucionado los mercados y ha empujado a todas las empresas a la transformación digital, que es algo que veíamos quizás lejano hace un par de años. Bueno, esto último es la prueba de que no podemos seguir atendiendo a desafíos del futuro con soluciones del pasado, y es por esto que este tipo de eventos son tan importantes. Las 5 fintech que están acá y las otras del ecosistema han venido a cambiar las reglas del juego en la industria financiera tradicional. Sin ir más lejos, se presentó hace muy poco el anteproyecto de la ley FinTech, que entre otras materias otorga un marco jurídico y reglamentario a las plataformas de financiamiento colectivo o crowdfunding como las conocemos, y otras actividades fintech relacionadas al mercado de valores. Más allá si la ley es buena o si se incluyeron todos los aspectos relevantes, quizás sería importante quedarnos con el fondo, ¿cierto? Y que no solamente de la ley, sino de todo el ecosistema, que es promover la innovación, facilitar la inclusión financiera, que se puedan desarrollar fácilmente nuevas fuentes de financiamiento, aumentar la competencia en el mercado financiero, que nos hace muy bien, ¿cierto?, a nuestro mercado, que lo necesitaba hace un par de años, teníamos poquita oferta de productos financieros, y a su vez, quizá el más importante, resguardar el interés de los ahorrantes e inversores en todas sus líneas. Bueno, eso por el lado de lo gubernamental o del gobierno, de lo regulatorio, pero también tenemos otro avance, ¿cierto?, de otros stakeholders muy importantes, como son los inversionistas, que cada día se atreven más a invertir en fintechs y en startups. Ojalá que la ley también sirva para seguir apoyando esa moción. Tenemos la academia, las universidades que siguen aportando talento profesional y técnico para que puedan desarrollar en el futuro estas nuevas plataformas de innovación a través de la modificación de sus mallas curriculares, bueno, entre otras cosas. Y el sistema financiero tradicional, que, bueno, nosotros como consultores lo vimos en carne propia, como se dice, que estamos sentados con ellos, están cada vez más abiertos a esta colaboración, al trabajo conjunto y entender que cada uno de los actores tiene su propio espacio en el mercado y en el trabajo. Al final todos van formando parte de un engranaje que facilita y mejora la experiencia del cliente en todas sus líneas. En esa misma línea es que en EY estamos comprometidos con la construcción de un mejor mundo laboral y creemos que la naturaleza de este mundo laboral que nosotros imaginamos es colaborativo. Es por eso que estamos muy contentos. Muchas gracias nuevamente por la invitación y queremos invitarlos a atender con atención el evento, a hacer las preguntas, porque es desafío de todos nosotros entender este mercado nuevo, ¿cierto?, para impulsar su crecimiento sostenible y con base robusta en el tiempo, y es como podemos aportar todos nosotros. Bueno, algunas recomendaciones iniciales para que la plataforma, ¿cierto?, digital funcione bien. Recomendamos y sugerimos cerrar algunas otras aplicaciones como redes sociales, que consumen muchos datos y mucho ancho de banda y quizás podrían perjudicar la experiencia de esta sesión. Recordar también que pueden hacer preguntas, atrévanse, por favor, la pueden escribir a través del chat del webinar. Importante que pongan el nombre y el cargo de la persona que está haciendo la pregunta, a quién va dirigida y naturalmente el contenido de la pregunta también, que es lo más importante, obviamente. Bien, ahora sí que están haciendo algunas otras cosas que se entiende, porque en estos tiempos es muy difícil estar conectados solo en un lugar. Recordarles que posterior al evento, todo esto estará grabado en YouTube y les será enviado un enlace por el correo al cual se inscribieron al evento. Así que tranquilos con eso, que no se van a perder nada. Bueno, sin más preámbulos, queremos presentar a Johanna de Camcher, que es la dueña de casa y que nos va a dar también una breve introducción del evento. Recordarles que posterior al evento, todo esto estará grabado en YouTube y les será enviado un enlace por el correo al cual se inscribieron al evento.
Hola, muy buenos días. Escucho algo en el...
Sí, tenemos un poco de eco, creo.
Sí, eco, sí, estaba un poco. Bueno, muy buenos días. Muchas gracias, Diego, por tu excelente introducción. Estamos muy contentos poder organizar hoy día este evento, este Demo Day. Bueno, mi nombre es Johanna Stembeck, soy la gerente comercial de Camchal. Como dije, bueno, estamos organizando este evento con el apoyo de Hessen Trade and Invest. Y bueno, como ustedes saben, Frankfurt es el centro financiero de Europa, así que y está ubicado en el Estado Federado de Hessen, y junto con Hessen Trade and Invest hemos hecho diferentes actividades. Ya el año pasado una actividad con EY sobre el tema de FinTech, así que estamos muy contentos de poder hacer otra actividad hoy, y todas estas actividades siempre se organizan en conjunto con la Cámara Alemana de Argentina, que es la representación oficial de Hessen para los dos países. Y obviamente muchas gracias a todos los que colaboran hoy. Muy importante el Tech Quartier de Frankfurt, FinTech Chile, que siempre nos apoya en nuestras actividades FinTech, y FinSight, que está representado hoy también en el jurado. Eso voy a mencionar ahora brevemente, y muchas gracias también a EY, con que no solo trabajamos en conjunto en FinTech, sino en muchas otras actividades. Bueno, hoy en este Demo Day conoceremos a 6 emprendedores chilenos que utilizan la tecnología FinTech, y la idea es que se presentan y aprovechan a compartir sus experiencias con los expertos de FinTech del Tech Quartier y expertos de FinTech de Frankfurt. Y bueno, Chile es conocido como el hub más importante de startups en Latinoamérica, y FinTech es un ámbito cada vez más relevante, sobre todo con todo lo que ha pasado también con la pandemia. La tecnología y la digitalización son cada vez más importantes, y sobre todo en el ámbito financiero también. Así que desarrollan acá muchos startups diversos servicios y soluciones. Y bueno, los queremos invitar a conocer estas 6 empresas chilenas que van a presentar sus soluciones en formato pitch ante nuestro jurado. Y o sea, el jury, el jurado se compone por Dominik Sporek, Sector and Government Affairs Manager del Tech Quartier en Frankfurt. El Tech Quartier en Frankfurt hasta ahora ha apoyado a muchas empresas jóvenes, más de 70 empresas jóvenes e innovadoras del sector del FinTech que se han instalado en Frankfurt. Y bueno, estamos muy contentos de tener al Tech Quartier, que apoya a muchos startups, y de tenerlo en el jury hoy. También tenemos a Friedhelm Schmidt, quien ha participado el año pasado en nuestra actividad con EY. Él es COO de FinSight. Y también muy contentos de estar con Ángel Sierra, director ejecutivo de FinTech Chile, y Carlos Valenzuela, nuestro Senior Consultant de Innovación de Camchal. Así que muy bienvenido a todos. Estoy ahora, sí, ya estoy muy curiosa de las soluciones de los startups, pero primero empezamos con algunas presentaciones, y ahora paso la palabra, un segundo, a Dominik Sporek del Tech Quartier, para que conozcamos un poco más de cerca el trabajo de este espacio muy interesante, y sus servicios que ofrecen para startups y cómo apoyan startups. Muy bienvenido. Muchas gracias.
Buenos dias, and thank you for having me. I'm sorry that I have to switch to English because I'm not capable of speaking Spanish. I'm sorry to ruin the party here, but yeah, thank you for having me and having for the opportunity. It's in these great times, it's very, very important to reach out to all over the world and to use the opportunity that virtual events like these really impose on us. And I think it's a real benefit and an upside of these current times. I will now share my screen. I hope that's fine. So everyone can basically follow the slides we prepared. So a bit about Tech Quartier. So Tech Quartier is one of the innovation hubs in Germany and one of the most important FinTech hubs in continental Europe. Been formed in 2016, 2017 to really centralize a lot of the entrepreneurial activity in the region, and since then has evolved massively into a global center of different kinds of corporations, from startups to corporates to talents to serial entrepreneurs, as we will see in a second. A brief overlook of some numbers. In our community, there's now, since of last week, more than 340 startups that are in our community. That means roughly a third of them are really sitting in Frankfurt in our co-working space, or are affiliated to that in a hot desk option, but more than 2/3 of that are all from all over the world. So you see, it's a very global community that tries to foster cooperation and tries to foster innovation on every level. We have more than 30 corporate partners that engage with us, either through to discover new technical innovation, but also to innovate themselves and to see where there are B2B opportunities with the startups or the talents that we have at hand. Tech Quartier is, while being in the hands of public shareholders, the two biggest universities of the region, for example, and also the city of Frankfurt and the development bank of the state of Hessen, but it is completely privately organized. And that's really important to us because all the financing, all the activities we're doing, they are also entrepreneurial themselves. So it's really for us important to have the connection here and to think as well as the community in a very entrepreneurial sense. We have, last year we had more than 270 events. Most of them, I would say 90% were in presence, so basically in our spaces. This of course changed this year, but we roughly had the same amount of events, but then virtually. We have a couple of global partners. I will tap into that in a second. And we have also a very huge academic network. So 6 contractual partners, but we have connections to over 40 universities all over the world. So what is Frankfurt? If you want to get to know a bit more about Frankfurt in itself, it's basically one of the financial centers. Without dipping too deep into that, but some rough numbers, more than 200 banks have one of the headquarters, at least our European headquarter there. There's more than 100 fintechs, roughly around 120 right now, that are active in the closer region. We have 21 universities in the region, 80K students that basically finish their studies a year, and I think around roughly 240,000 students in a whole. So very, very huge talent pool. A couple of research institutes. Yeah, that's I think the most important part. So some impressions here to show you basically what we are doing. As I've already mentioned, that there's of course every innovation has to happen at a certain space or at a certain level. So we're I'm pretty confident that it needs a central point to really meet together to innovate. And this is what we basically do with our space. But also, as this year has shown, a lot of innovation is also happening virtually, and a lot of cooperation especially. So it's all about basically bringing the right people together and really seeing, okay, where's the value for both sides and analyzing it up front. We're we're taking care basically of how and who basically the possible members can get in touch with our community. So we curate our community in terms of which corporates, which startups, which entrepreneurs, which talents can become a part of it, because we really believe that quality in a safe space matters. So people that are in our community can safely exchange ideas, think about possible cooperation, and this then really nurtures innovation in a whole. I already mentioned some of our partners. You can see them here. For the sake of time, I will not go through all of them, but you see it's basically a lot of the financial institutions from the region and beyond, a lot of technology company as well, but also hugely interconnected with the academic world, which is really important to us because we think it's not bilateral. You have to have a multi-sided platform to really foster exchange and really find the best opportunities. One of the most interesting ones last year that joined us was the German Bundesbank, which is the central bank, also under the ECB. And where we already had this year, end of November, we had the Bundesbank Innovation Challenge, which is basically a startup program to foster the exchange with the German Bundesbank. And it was highly anticipated and really good. There's a lot of interesting programs that were coming out of that, especially in the fields of machine learning and AI, but also heavily with use cases in the regulatory environment, of course, as this is one of the most, one of the biggest parts that the Bundesbank has to cover. Was a 3-day program, and usually what we do there is to bring the startups in our space, might be virtually, might be in our real space physically, and then fostering the exchange among the startups with the Bundesbank, but also giving some kind of knowledge and basically transfer the knowledge to the startups about corporations with organizations that are that big, but also it's kind of a micro acceleration program. So the startups themselves, they have some benefit besides getting in touch with the organization at that point. And usually, basically, these programs are free of charge for the startups and are sponsored by the organization that is basically opening up. Here's some more looks about looking into basically how our community is structured. So as Frankfurt is one of the financial centers, one of the biggest financial centers, of course, a lot is revolving around FinTech, around legal tech, around property tech. But the second biggest one is basically green tech, where we also diving more and more into. And of course, as the region is really advanced in terms of IT and software development, cybersecurity, also because of the hub in Darmstadt, this is of course also playing a huge role here. So you see, it's roughly everything here is B2B related, and that's really important to us. So every member in the community has to have some kind of innovation. It might be as a business model or might be in a technical sense, but most opportunities will lie basically getting in touch with other partners that seek solutions for the problems. We have already touched on that. Some high profile startups from our community. FinSide, Friedhelm will also present later on. One of the biggest startups in, or one of the biggest upcomers in Frankfurt and the region. We have a couple of more that you can see here, but in general, it's worth noting most of these collaborations, of the most fruitful ones, they basically got to grow because of collaboration between different parties. So one of them, for example, is also on the down left corner here is Finanzguru, which collaborated heavily with Deutsche Bank and other banks in general, and this is what really opened up their the pathway to their growth and to their scaling. So that's in a nutshell, basically TechWord what it's all about is that we want to foster this collaboration, foster innovation by really bringing the right kind of people together, and then having this good surrounding. So a couple of more partners that we have very intense relationships with are here on that map. In general, it's not just very limited to Frankfurt or Germany as a whole, but it's basically opened up globally, because we really think that ideas, technologies, and collaborations shouldn't stop at the country's borders, and we're open to any kind of collaboration there. One thing more noting is that even though Germany seems very federated from the outside, it's heavily interconnected. And one evidence of that is the eHub hub network, where different regions that have different strengths are combined into one general network. May it be logistics in Hamburg, may it be InsurTech in Cologne or in Munich, may it be Frankfurt for FinTech and cybersecurity, you name it. And these basically foster the exchange between these verticals and really work well together, while at the same time leveraging the knowledge and the firepower of the region in its vertical or in its experience. Yeah, in general, I already said it to you that we really want to be basically that framework that where within their innovation is happening and where basically all the connections and the dots can be connected. There are couple of different ways to achieve that. For a startup in general, there is the possibility of getting in touch very easily to become a member of TechQuartier. We will roughly see if this really is an innovative venture, but in general, then this opens up the pool of contacts, of possible contacts and possible events you may participate in to really get in touch with different stakeholder groups. Yeah, I mean, for the sake of time, I will not tap into that. One more thing about this program, though, is if you're looking forward into really getting into the German or into the European market, there's something that's called soft landing. That's one of our programs that's designed especially for companies that want to relocate or open another regional headquarter in Europe or Germany, where we basically combine all the benefits of being a regular member with the benefits of lawyers and of our whole partners to make the start as easy as possible in our community and in Frankfurt. Because of course, for some of you, there are some challenges that of course they might face from establishing a company, from relocating people there, from finding people, to finding the right partners to collaborate. And there's a plethora of different opportunities to tap into. So if you're interested in that, I can forward you the general information on that as well. So yeah, that's basically what TechQuartier does and what we are doing in general in a nutshell. So I'm happy to have a look at the different ventures and how they will basically pitch their ideas, and maybe we will get in touch afterwards. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Dominic. Bueno, tal como adelantaba Johanna, dejamos también a FinSight, que está representado por Friedhelm. Hola, Friedhelm.
Hola, muchas gracias por la invitación. Voy a compartir mi pantalla. A ver, déjame ver. ¿Pueden ver mi pantalla? Ya, ¿pueden ver mi pantalla? Muy bien. I'm also going to switch to English. I can speak some Spanish, but I think for really presenting and also presenting efficiently in time, as we are already behind our schedule, I think it makes more sense that I run through the presentation in English. So first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. I had the pleasure also to visit Chile and also Argentina last year. Yeah, I know everybody knows what happened in the meantime, so times are different now. And I will also go a little bit in my presentation into what also COVID means for the banking industry, at least here in Europe, but I also assume that it's quite similar in Latin America. Before I go into who we are and what we're doing, I would first like to give you an insight on the FinSight vision. So why are we doing things, and why is it also good timing to do the things that we are doing? I think one of the things that you might already know about software is the sentence of software eating the world. And we see it in a way that that software is becoming more and more flexible, right? So software is process oriented like Salesforce. It's modular like Flow and scalable like AWS. We know that from many different sectors, such as e-commerce, for example, travel and many other sectors, but that is not the case in financial services. But in the future, we are very sure that also investment services are going to be tech-enabled. So currently, you are basically talking to a financial advisor, and in the future, this is going to take place also based on platforms, based on technology, and you as a client will experience a holistic service with being able to contact the advisor whenever you want, but also to have a solid technology on which basically your financial advice is taking place. And we do not only want to play part in this, but we actually want to shape this vision of how software is working in the financial services space. We call this a composable investment software. And this is really a whole breed of software because it's not only modular, but it can actually very much apply to the individual services that a bank is offering to its customers. Why is that so important for banks? The reality here in Europe is that the margins that banks have are declining. So currently everybody still thinks that banks are actually very rich institutions, right? So you see the huge buildings and the jobs are still very well paid. But reality is that actually margins in banks are shrinking. And this is mainly because the costs are rising. And this is heavily basically driven by regulation. So regulation becomes more and more costly and banks earn less and less money. At the same time, the whole business of banks is based upon a technology that is that has been built in the 60s. So it's very old technology, it's very rigid, and banks built in a manner that they wanted to be very isolated from the outside world, right? So systems should not be connected. You should not connect or interface to systems. It was all very rigid, right? But the world has changed in the meantime, and everything is opening up. So you're talking about open architecture, about APIs and these type of things. And other industries make use of that, but financial institutions just cannot make use of that. And the result is what we call a service gap, so that banks are not able to serve their customer bases anymore. And this means that customers banks previously had are now, for example, also going to other fintechs, right? And this is even making the situation worse for banks, for example, on an income side. So they are even making less money, right? And this is like a downward spiral. And each year passing by, these gaps are basically increasing and making life more and more difficult for banks. What impact did the COVID situation had? We saw very clearly with banks that they were not able to reach their clients anymore during the first wave of COVID that hit us in spring this year. And the situation was that markets were very volatile. So investments were really decreasing in value, and people actually wanted to speak to financial advisors. So they wanted to contact their banks, but banks didn't have the means for video conferencing. They didn't have the possibilities to really engage with their clients on a professional basis that would have basically calmed down the situation or the feelings that clients had in these markets. So high volatility met lack of availability, so banks were not available. And that was something that was really a game changer, because the adoption of video conferencing, the adoption of remote communication has really increased in that time. And we are also expecting this to have a long-lasting effect on financial advice taking place through technology, right? There are also other effects, such as run the bank. So banks do not want to build everything themselves anymore. They're opening up more and more for off-the-shelf software, so for turnkey software. And also when it comes to basic connectivity of banks, also that is changing. So usage of cloud, for example, is also becoming more and more popular within banks. Our answer basically to all these trends that I just showed you is our software product, SIOS, which is a composable investment operating system. And this is allowing financial institutions, so mainly banks, large banks, asset managers, insurance companies, to really build and implement their complete investment models or investment offerings on one single platform. And a bank on our software can not only, I don't know, run a robo-advisor, for example, but you can really run from customer onboarding to investment advice to self-execution, all the different investment models that you want to have as a bank in one platform, and it can be fully parameterized according to your needs. Just some words on us as a company. As my colleague before from TechQuartier already said, we're one of the largest B2B fintechs in Germany. We are now 6 years on the market. We are a global team. So we have the headquarters in Germany, but we also have software development in Peru and in the Ukraine. And what is maybe setting us very much apart is that the company is fully in the hands of the owners and founders. So I founded the company together with my 2 colleagues. You also see that here. And we were able to scale and grow the company over the last 6 years to a team now of almost 70 people. We were really lucky, and we're also proud of that, to have some really top tier 1 banks as references, such as ABN AMRO, Deutsche Bank, or KBC from Belgium. We have grown the company throughout Europe and will also continue on that growth path now continuously. But we were also awarded for our technology, for our growth, but also for the team. We are part of the World's Tech 100 companies now for 2 years already. So the world's most innovative wealth tech companies. And we are also a very active member of the basically financial community in Germany, which is also a very important part or very important activity if you want to really shape how the financial world or how the financial community evolves throughout Europe, throughout Germany. Now I wish you all good luck with your demos. I'm really looking forward to getting to know the companies. And I would be happy if you would contact me, if you would get in touch with me, connect, preferably on LinkedIn. And yeah, I'm really looking forward. And I hope at some near time in the future that I also can travel to Chile and also to Argentina very soon. Thank you very much for the attention.
Muchas gracias, Friedhelm. Excelente presentación. Bueno, ahora queremos presentar al representante local, ¿cierto? Ángel Sierra, de FinTech Chile, que también nos hará una breve exposición. Hola, Ángel. ¿Estás por ahí, Ángel?
Sí, hola Diego, ¿cómo estás? ¿Ahí visualizan mi pantalla?
Ahora sí.
Dale, buenísimo. Super, gracias Diego. Y well, I switched to English in order to be aligned with the other speakers. So good morning, everybody. My name is Ángel Sierra, Executive Director of FinTech Chile, the FinTech association of the country. And well, I will be really concrete with this presentation in order to achieve the time we defined for presentation on the agenda of the session. And well, just to begin, I want to mention the vibrant FinTech ecosystem we are building all together. Just to let you know, when we began the association in December 2017, we began with 10 companies in our association and 75 companies in the whole industry. Today, December 2020, 3 years after, we can see now 170 FinTech companies, and now our association have more than 90 members. So this is really interesting because we are aligned with what is happening all over the world, and is that we are witnessing a really vibrant and growing FinTech ecosystem. And in our case in Chile, we are achieving that goal of democratization of finance using technology with 4 pillars. I think that this is one of the key of our, let's say, success as association. We really established from the very beginning 4 pillars to address all the efforts we are doing with the ecosystem, and it is regulation. Freedom mentioned it is really important to boost the ecosystem and open the field for all these new companies and those entrants that are beginning to compete and collaborate with banks. The second one is talent. We are facing a really important lack of talent, of digital talent in the industry. So as association, we work really close with universities and academia in order to bring the best talent. Third one is capital. 98% of our companies in the association are startups. So really, we are working really actively in closing the gaps between venture capital funds, and fintech companies in order to make them closer and achieve a really fast way of raising capital in the country. And the last one is business, and it is about how to connect the fintech ecosystem with the traditional banking system. So with these 4 pillars, we achieved what you saw in the last slide. And well, today we can see now the results of these actions, because in the regulation I will focus to achieve the 10 minutes time I have allowed to talk. We achieve what we finally what we asked in the very beginning of the association, and it is a fintech law. Truth be told, this is an initiative that began in 2018, but for so many reasons it was postponed. And well, finally this year we achieved that goal. It begins on January this year when we attend to the Chilean Senate. And well, we achieved to a request from the senators to the finance minister in order to activate the fintech law. It was in January, and in the meantime, and one month later, we launched our open banking standard as a market-driven initiative. It was really important because we shared that protocol with the ministry, the regulator, banks, and it was a kind of challenge to the industry to show that FinTech Chile have the tools to create a protocol for open banking in a market-driven way. And well, with that actions, we were able to create move from the ministry. And well, finally in April, the Ministry of Finance pronounced that he will reactivate the fintech law, because it's really important for the pandemic. For all of us, it's really clear that digitalization of financial services was key for the pandemic, and the fintech law of course will boost that digitalization. So for April of this year, the ministry reactivate the process. But well, of course, we all know the crisis of the pandemic and so on made the process too slow. It was supposed to be sent, the bill, to the Senate in June, July of this year, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Anyhow, in the meantime, we as association were really actively to create an awareness to don't forget the fintech law, because it's really important for the country. And well, after several months of working with regulators and other institutions like País Digital, that is a really good referent of digitalization in the country, we achieved the reactivation of the project. Just to be really concrete, what's this bill it's going to be about? Well, we will be talking about crowd lending. Today, to be told, in Chile, we don't have FinTech regulation. There is some approach with the payment ecosystem from the central bank, but for the other platforms, there's no regulation. So we will see a regulation for the crowd lending platforms. CFD. Today we have in Chile more than 8 platforms moving more than $5,000 million a month. So this is an issue not to have a regulation. In a third place, digital credit advisors, everything about alternative scoring, let's say. So the law will embrace this topic. And finally, today there is a confusion between open banking and open data or open finance. From the association, we are asking to move to open finance, really more broader and deep insight to the financial industry. And in the next few weeks, we will see a little bit more, because this is really recent. You can see in the picture, this news was announced on November the 3rd, and today we are waiting. The next step we are waiting as an association will be a meeting with the Subsecretary of Finance, Francisco Moreno, who will show us what will be the next steps. In the meantime, what we have here and we know is that the FinTech law will be sent to the Senate during the first quarter of 2021. So we will be really close to this process. This is a long process. For just to let you know, in the payment ecosystem, we are waiting for a law of the regulation fees, of the interchange fees of Visa and MasterCard for more than 8 months. So this is not gonna be an easy and fast bill, but anyhow, we as an association will be working really actively and close with the government to have a really good FinTech law for Chile. So the invitation is just to follow us. We are announcing every day, every new announcement the government have. So it's really important to invite you to follow us in order to be in touch and be updated of what will be the FinTech law for Chile in 2021. So thank you very much to Amchel for this invitation, and the best wishes for all the companies that will bring your presentation for this demo day. So thank you very much again.
Muchas gracias, Ángel. Bueno, vamos a seguir entonces con este evento. Bueno, los jurados ya los conocen, se presentaron: Dominique, Friedhelm, Ángel, cierto que recién estuvieron con nosotros. Bueno, también va a ser parte del jurado Carlos Valenzuela, Senior Consultant de Innovación de Camchal, como ya lo anunciaba Johanna. Sin más, vamos a ir entonces con los pitch. Recordar que son pitch de 3 minutos y también hay 2 minutos para responder algunas preguntas. Los jurados van a evaluar como la calificación y la experiencia, la solución y grado de innovación, la atracción y la validación, los avances del proyecto, la relevancia para el mercado europeo, ¿verdad? Y propiamente tal el pitch. Así que vamos avanzando entonces. Queremos dejar entonces a Damián Gellerstein de Abacus, que también nos va a hacer un pitch acerca de esta FinTech. Hola Damián, ¿estás por ahí?
Hola, estoy acá. ¿Se ve la pantalla o no?
Sí, ya estamos viendo tu presentación.
Perfecto.
No está en modo presentación, pero lo estamos viendo.
Yes.
Ahí sí.
Yeah. Well, hi, I'm Damián Gellerstein, Abacus CEO. The technological standard of the financial industry in Latin America has a big problem. First, most of the analytical work is made on Excel worksheets. We are still using pre-internet system, and this generates technological fragmentation. And also we use analysts and persons as middleware. This, of course, generates problems for the financial industry and for clients. For the financial industry, creates error-prone systems that are not scalable, that are very expensive, and are very unpersonalized. Second, for the clients, this generates a poor user experience and user interfaces, a poor customization, expensive system for clients, and with basic functionality. At Abacus, we are reshaping the investment industry from a one-to-many industry due to the technological fragmentation to a one-to-one industry, from a reactive to a proactive industry, and from a transaction-based industry to a goal-based industry. In this sense, we are currently developing 3 different services for asset managers and private banks and family offices in Latin America. The first one that it's called DataMart IQ. It's a data mart for asset managers, that it's a portfolio managers platform that generates automated asset allocation, reporting, and risk management and compliance. The second one is for private banks, and it's a hybrid advisor that it's a mix between a robot advisor and a human advisor. This generates performance and management indicators, and it's a white label platform. And the third one, it's more complex. It's for family offices. We consolidate the information for family offices. We do tax optimization, benchmarking, and performance attribution. We are currently looking for partnerships to scale our software as a service for financial services in Europe. And we're ready to develop tailored solutions for European banks. And we're also ready to leverage the European market experience to bring the world-class standards to our Latin American customers. Thank you very much.
Súper. Muchas gracias. No sé si hay preguntas. Francisca, ¿estás por ahí para hacer las preguntas? Bien, si no hay preguntas, entonces vamos a avanzar en el programa.
Bueno, pregúntale si los jurados tienen alguna pregunta.
Sí, los jurados, ¿alguna pregunta a Abacus?
Dominic or Friedhelm, maybe you do have some questions?
No, not from my side.
Okay.
Nope,
I also know, I know Abacus.
Okay.
Perfect.
Bien, entonces,
bueno, entonces sí.
Sí, entonces dejamos a Roberto Vargas, CEO de Betriax. ¿Estás por ahí, Roberto?
Hola, buenos días. Good morning, everybody.
Buen día.
Here we are. Can you see it?
Sí, estamos viendo.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Roberto Vargas. I'm the CEO of Betriax. The recovery time we are living now will be very challenging for companies. Micro, small, and medium companies will fight for every dollar they will gain in the markets. We found a problem in the last 2 years, but this is a historical problem. Companies lose up to 7% in average when they exchange currencies. And we propose a peer-to-peer marketplace to create a trusted environment in a digital way. Companies are going to gather and propose and take fixing the exchange rate between them. Our platform is easy to use, simple and secure. Betriax is a platform of transparency in the foreign exchange market. Our model of monetization is a commission on both sides of the market when transactions are successful. And this is the market. It's a huge market. In the case only in Chile, the traded volume in the spot foreign exchange market in banks is $1.4 trillion. We're going to start in Peru. We just launched the platform 1 month ago. We are going to Chile. We hope to launch the platform soon. And we are going to apply to the sandboxes of Mexico and Colombia. An example is pretty good to understand this. Betriax will impact the bottom line of the companies. This company can save around $200,000 per year. But efficiency is a must for us. But the main component to get this is transparency. Betriax will accumulate a lot of data to create new products or financial services in terms of the liquidity in the cash market. This is our traction. As I mentioned, we have a multi-country approach in the Pacific Alliance. We are going to increase the technological jumps of innovation. And this is our team. We are very, very experienced people in banking, 2 guys in computer science, 1 is expert in financial regulation. And this is our board of advisors. Thanks to them, we decide better. Betriax is the opportunity to take to the next level the whole foreign exchange market. We are not exactly the solution. We think that we need to incorporate in the equation other stakeholders to create efficiency. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Roberto. No sé si les queda alguna pregunta al jurado. Do you have any questions? Friedhelm, Dominic, Ángel.
Everything clear, thanks.
Súper. Entonces avanzamos con...
Espérame, perdón, Diego.
Sí, ok, no hay problema.
Antes, no lo vi, perdón, Carlos, pero nos llegó una pregunta a Abacus todavía. Quizás la podemos contestar también aún. Primero, antes de avanzar.
Claro, Carlos, ¿está por ahí?
Mira, la pregunta a Abacus de Carlos es: ¿cuántos clientes tiene Abacus y quiénes son principales clientes?
¿Para Abacus?
Para Abacus todavía, sí, por favor, perdón.
Sí. Hoy día Abacus tiene alrededor de 80 clientes, entre los cuales están los 4 de los 8 asset managers más grandes de Chile. ¿Y cuál es la segunda pregunta? Perdóname.
No, perdón. ¿Cuántos clientes y quiénes son principales clientes?
Los principales clientes son el BCI, el Banco de Crédito e Inversiones en Chile, la Reinvial y el Banco Estado ahora.
Súper.
Ya, perfecto. Y también tenemos una pregunta a Betriax. Roberto, si sigues acá, sí.
Sí, no, lo estamos viendo.
La pregunta de Carlos era: ¿cómo aplica su solución al mercado europeo?
Oh, thanks for the question. It's very simple. The world will fight in the markets for each dollar, okay, after the recovery. And Betriax is the perfect solution to increase the level of competitiveness of exporters and importers. This is just one whole sector, but there are other industries that use dollars, euros, and we need to develop all the ecosystems of stakeholders to increase the transparency, the neutrality of the market as Betriax itself, And of course, the banks, the banking sector is very important. They will provide liquidity in the market. So if we increase the level of competitiveness of Chilean companies, we will grow in a better way.
Súper, gracias Roberto. Francisca, ¿alguna pregunta queda por ahí?
No, esas eran todas las preguntas, creo. Gracias.
Súper, entonces volvemos a la presentación original y queremos presentar a Verónica Celis de NLA, espero haberlo pronunciado bien porque está medio complejo, CEO. Hola Verónica, ¿cómo estás?
Sí, está bien. ¿Sabes qué? Siempre me pasa eso con el nombre, como que gente que habla castellano le cuesta, la gente que habla inglés como así su lengua materna es como, oh, este es el mejor nombre del mundo. Yo todo bien, ¿y tú?
Todo bien, muchas gracias por preguntar. Bueno, comenzamos entonces.
Comencemos, déjame que comparta mi pantalla. Ahí se ve, ¿cierto?
Sí, ya estamos viendo.
Perfect. Well, I'll switch to English again as everybody else. So hello, my name is Veronica Celis, and I am the founder and CEO of Untitled. As most of you already know, millennials and Generation Zs are the generations more involved with impact than any other generation in history. And when I say impact, I mean environmental and social impact. This does translate into an economic decision. And according to the Harvard Business Review, products and services with a sustainability claim showed twice the growth compared to their traditional counterparts. On the corporate side, the biggest companies in the world not only spend every year a significant amount of money in corporate social responsibility, but also the vast majority of companies produce a sustainability report. What I found particularly interesting here is the fact that between 2005 to 2010, so only 10 years, companies publishing corporate social responsibility reports grew from less than 30% to over 90%. But is this effort, are those reports ever reaching your customers? In the last decade, we have gone through a profound experience digitalization. We moved from maps that were on paper to a live mapping experience on our phone, where we get to know in real time data regarding traffic, accidents, and so on. We also moved into a service performance. We moved from not having information to real-time performance reporting. We changed human interaction from a few hours face-to-face to a 24/7 digital connection. But what happened to corporate social responsibility? Well, we still have the end of the year reports that rarely reach those two generations that care the most about what your company is doing for the planet and our community. And I know this is a very different approach to FinTech, but Enlighted solves that problem. Enlighted is the first real-time, fully digital experience for corporate social responsibility. We are a tech for good company that systematically builds trust through transparency. We are the Instagram of aid, a place that is directly accessible from your phone and that enables your company, your friends, and your family to help people and the planet. Humanitarian aid is a complex ecosystem of actors. It is a series of activities and cash flows, and this is why we're FinTech, that used to take place in a reality without any transparency and in which we normal people did just simply not have access to. Enlighted is a web-based technology that visualizes the use of your donation in real time, showing you where, when, and on what the money from your donation is used. We're offering the first ever real-time public auditing technology. And all of this is embedded in a deep social experience. Enlighted connects individuals who together create the next powerful change, foundations and companies that carry out and finance the impact projects. We at Enlighted work with NGOs, individuals, and companies. But as I know that today our audience is mostly corporate, I thought I could show you what's in it for your company. So, well,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the presentation is not moving forward, so I just step in. Sorry, we still see the first page.
Oh,
sorry to interrupt, but maybe.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks. Now we see.
Sorry. Okay, so you lost all of my beautiful graphics, but let's take it from the last thing that I was speaking about. And thank you so much for letting me know that you were not able to see it. So what's in it for your company? By partnering with Untitled, your company has the chance to become a corporate social responsibility pioneer, becoming one of the first companies to take part of transparent corporate social responsibility. In our platform, your company will have a custom profile from which you will be able to manage the report and report back to your team members, as well as the community, about the positive impact your company is created. Untitled automatically curates the real-time reporting on your company's donations and gives you the tools to create programs, volunteer, and much, much more. We've just released the first portion of the second version of Untitled, and we're about to release the corporate social responsibility module that I have just shown you today. We're looking right now for companies who would be willing to partner with us for a digital event on Earth Day, in which we will be formally releasing this technology to the public. Here's an overview of our team. We're half Norwegian, half Chilean, and since inception, we have been a fully remote team. We have extensive experience in sustainability, design, and technology deployment. Untitled so far has been tested in 7 countries, having projects with the version 1 in Chile, Peru, Mexico, Kenya, Sierra Leone, Madagascar, and Norway. And we have had the support from the Chilean as well as the Norwegian government. We recently I was recently chosen as one of the top innovators by the MIT, and we've gotten a bunch of recognitions internationally because of this endeavor. But now we need your help to grow. This technology can be used in virtually any country with pretty much any application. Thank you.
Gracias, Verónica. No sé si hay preguntas. Francisca, al jurado, do you have any questions? Ángel.
Yes,
I have a question.
I would hop in.
Fritjo?
Oh yeah, sorry. Dominic,
okay.
Go first?
Go first, it's fine.
Okay. So my understanding is you're targeting corporates, right? So bigger companies?
Yes, so our platform is basically working with NGOs, people, and companies. We're just releasing now our corporate social responsibility module. We have tested the individual and the foundation part before, so the financial transparency part we tested extensively in version number 1. And now we're looking, as I heard that we're going to have mostly a corporate audience today. We're looking for companies that are willing to partner with us to test the corporate social responsibility module.
And how's your monetization strategy on the corporate?
On the corporates, they can either use it for free or get further tools and pay a license, which is calculated depending on the size of their team. Because the idea is that all of the team members are connected through our platform, so they can weigh in the decisions of corporate social responsibility that the company is executing. And in terms of the foundations, they use it for free, but if they fundraise, we charge 5% of what they have raised.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Dominic?
You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah, thanks for the presentation. Of course, ESG goals are a huge thing also here with our partners. But my question would be basically, what's distinguishing you between the other solutions that are out there? There's a lot of blockchain solutions in the same space and a lot of competitors. So what is basically USP from your side?
So we have, that we know of, for companies that are using a similar approach to transparency. And the thing, I think what distinguishes us the most is that we tested the version that was only financial transparency extensively. And then we realized that even though we are obsessed with numbers, most people are not. Most people want to see impact in terms of transparency, but also in terms of what's actually happening on the ground. So we designed the platform embedded. So our core is financial transparency, but all of the actions are embedded in a deep social experience. So within the same platform, you can create volunteering programs or plant a tree day for your company and invite people from the community, because it's this possibility of partnership, what's missing from the other platforms and even from our first platform, which was only based on the numbers.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps.
Thank you.
Francisca, ¿alguna otra pregunta? Y así no volvemos a la presentación original. Gracias, Verónica. Bueno, contar que Roberto no se va a poder presentar. Tuvo algunos problemas de carácter personal, así que de todas maneras van a estar en la exposición virtual que vamos a tener en unos minutos más. Por ahora avanzamos con Gonzalo Asenjo, director de proyecto de Lares. Hola, Gonzalo, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, muy bien, ¿y tú?
Todo bien. ¿Listo para tu presentación?
Sí.
Cuando quieras.
Aquí estoy. Ahí se ve la presentación, ¿cierto?
Sí. Todavía no lo vemos en modo presentación, pero sí.
Ahí sí.
Ahí sí lo estamos viendo. Muchas gracias.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi, my name is Gonzalo Asenjo, and I am one of the founders of Lares, real estate crowdfunding. All over the world, the sharing economy is bringing greater well-being to the people. This is the time for collaborative solutions to our problems. Traditional investment in financial markets are very volatile. And on the other hand, the real estate market is highly profitable and stable, but it's very, very inaccessible. So our solution and our mission is to democratize the real estate investment. Using big data, we detect the best real estate opportunities in the market, and through crowdfunding, make them available for everyone. Some of the benefits of investing with Lares, in the first place, if you're investing in highly profitable projects, and you always invest in something tangible. Our model is 100% online, and we have a very low minimum investing quota of 110 euros. In terms of the projects, we have 3 types of projects. First is buying and selling properties, which consist in buying cheap and selling almost at market value. Then there's construction, where we buy a piece of land or a house in bad condition, being built or remodel the existing construction, and then resell it. And last is loans, where we lend up to 60% of the market value of a property to a person or individual, and charge an interest fee for it. In Germany, there are no traditional good investing or saving alternatives, and Lares is 2 or 3 times more profitable than the local real estate crowdfundings in the country. In terms of our technology, Lares is not just a real estate crowdfunding, it is also a technology company. We use big data to analyze each property in the real estate market, and we can tell if they are at their market value, cheaper, or above the asking price. During this year, 2020, we've been the most profitable crowdfunding in the country, 4% above the second best factoring crowdfunding. And unlike our competition, which saw a sharp contraction due to the pandemic, we grew even faster. We also have won 2 government innovation funds and have been supported by the only 2 private incubators in the country. what we're looking for, we want to expand to Germany. And for this, we need three things: local business partners, networking with real estate experts in Germany, and legal soft landing. Thank you very much for your time.
Gracias, Gonzalo. ¿Algunas preguntas, Friedhelm, Dominic, Ángel?
Yeah, I'll start. Thank you for the presentation, Gonzalo. My question would be basically what your background, your technology background is. Is it an own platform that you developed, or you're basically building upon existing solutions there?
No, it's our own platform. I'm an architect, and I have a background in real estate development and real estate appraisal. And my partner, Cristobal, is an engineer who has a background in IT development. So mixing our two backgrounds, we developed the technology that now we are using in Lattice.
Okay, so then your value proposition would be that you say you're more profitable than existing solutions out there, but it's not innovative in itself because there's other solutions already.
In terms of the solution in crowdfunding, we haven't seen crowdfunding that use big data to scan all the real estate market. In Chile, at least, that doesn't happen. There are companies that apply big data to analyze the market, but they are not in the crowdfunding world, and they are not investing in properties. So our main differentiation is that we are mixing the big data and the technology that we have developed, and we're using this to find and to select where to invest and in what to invest.
Thank you.
Okay. Friedhelm?
Maybe I continue. Why do you want to expand to Germany?
In Chile and Latin America, the crowdfunding its movement is beginning, especially in Chile. There is just one another real estate crowdfunding in Chile, and there are three others crowdfunding that are in other areas. So the growth has been slow because of that. The people is not used to this technology and this type of investment. We've seen that in Europe, there's a much more developed market, especially in Germany, where we've seen that there's about 10 other crowdfunding, real estate crowdfundings in the country. So it's a more developed market, and we think that it would be easier to land there and to open over there, because the people already know and already are investing in this type of crowdfundings.
Okay.
Súper. Gracias, Gonzalo. ¿Algunas preguntas adicionales? Bien, avanzamos con el último pitch. Bueno, al final vamos a hacer la pregunta que hay para Verónica, que está en el chat. Pero vamos primero con Moisés Zambrano, CBO de Vita Wallet. Hola, Moisés. ¿Cómo estás?
Hola, ¿me oyen?
Sí, fuerte y claro.
Cool. Okay. Do you see my deck?
Sí, estamos viendo.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Moises Zambrano. I am Vita Wallet CBO and founder. And we are a fintech that allows to Chilean people and Latin American people to send money to quickly, easily, and without face-to-face process. Vita have a solution that we create to Chilean people can send money easily and with 70% less commissions compared with Western Union or a bank, for example. We have two examples, concrete examples. For example, I'm foreigner in Chile that needs to send money to his family, and every month needs to walk to an office and have cash in his pocket and send the money with 4 hours of process. That walks, retake money of his bank, etc. And other example is an entrepreneur that have freelancers and teammates in Latin America, and every pay that he did is with Swift Bank and signed papers. We create a solution that entrepreneurs and people can send money to 35 destinations in less than a business day and with 70% less commissions. We are creating with Copeuch, a financial institution in Chile, a first MasterCard prepaid card that allows to foreigner people have a first financial services easily and 100% digital. We work too with Bitcoins, and the way of Bitcoin is have solution in blockchain that allows to people send money easily, for example, in Latin America. Our first difference is we work with automatizable process. The people not need to have a validation of his pay. All of our process are automatizable. Our business model is based of 0.4% per transaction to 4% per transaction. Depends of the country and the solutions. Our market is 93 billions in Latin America. In the case of Chile, is 1.5 billions of money that people send every month every year in Chile. We have 16 clients in the B2B model that sends money every month with us. And we have partners like financial institutions and an organization that allows to us grow quickly. Beta have right now 18,000 users in Latin America and Chile. And with the pandemic, we grow an exponential growth. We process $1.5 million and near to 70,000 transactions. We have 100% remotely team. We have 3 founders, and we have 12 persons full-time in our team. We want to grow to Europe because we see a great opportunity that Latin American people can receive payments for freelance services. We are working in that in an expansion process to Colombia and Mexico, and works in Chile too. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Moisés. Preguntas del jurado. Carlos Dominique. Friedhelm, do you have any questions?
Yes. So, Friedhelm, you can start if you want.
No, I don't have questions. So, Dominic.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yes. So, thank you for the presentation. I mean, in remittances, there's already different games you can play. Of course, there's the game that you say, okay, the monthly, the pay remittances can be one of the focus areas. The other being micropayments, right? Being basically that you say some employee saved some money this week and they basically send it over. So what is your focus there? And the second question, how is your globalization strategy? Because it's a very highly competitive market in other parties of the world.
Yes, our focus is create a solution that allows to people send and receive money. We are creating an infrastructure that allows to, for example, a natural person send money to Europe. If you are a freelance in Mexico, you can receive your payments to a prepaid card easily and quickly. And that is the focus. And we are working with companies directly when they can set his payment for 3 countries in less than 5 minutes, and all with IPA's process or with that CVS doc that sent from our app. So our focus is create a solution that allows to people and companies send and receive payments. And what is the other question? Sorry.
The second question was what your globalization strategy is, because there's a lot of competition in that field. And say you want to go to other markets in Africa and Asia, how would you want to approach this, and why do you think customers will choose you?
One strategy that are functional for us is close partnership with local financial institutions. That is amazing for us because we can reduce commissions and have a legal and regular product in the local markets. That is our expansion strategy. No matters if it's in Mexico or Colombia or Kenya or on Singapore. All of this we can connect if we have a partner with local institutions. That is our plan.
Thank you.
Says, my question is the following. Up to now, you are a kind of a wallet in Chile. In the other countries in Latin America, you are also looking to be a wallet, or you are just partnering with other players in local countries?
Angel, can you repeat me?
Yes, in Chile, you are a wallet. In other countries, you are looking to become a wallet too, or to partnering with other players in the respective geographies?
Depends the country. And for example, in Mexico, we need a partnership, and we have it. And in Colombia, no, we don't need a partnership. We can work directly with a solution of remittance. So depends of the country and depends of the plan that we have in every country.
Okay, thanks.
¿Y más preguntas? Francisca, ¿alguna pregunta también adicional? Bien,
no,
muchas gracias.
No veo nada, pero todavía teníamos una pregunta de Carlos a Verónica de Inlight 8.
Ah, cierto. Gracias, Moisés. Vamos con Verónica entonces. Francisca, si quieres puedes hacer la pregunta tú mismo para que la gente pueda escucharla.
Dale. So the question was, where is Enlighted available, and can you tell us how it works in simple words? I'll start with the second one. So can I tell you how it works in simple words? So what we did is that we created a proprietary API, which is a layer of code, basically, that integrates with different payment systems. So we have to find ideal payment systems per region, which is why I'm answering this question before the other, that allows us to have money in and money out and be able to track each transaction. So transactions are like crossing a door in a way. So each time money, for example, if it's donated, then that's crossing like the donation door. And at the moment when it's crossing, we can capture this information and report it in the system automatically. And then when that donation gets to the NGO, then we can report it again that it arrived. And then when the NGO at the end spends that donation, we can tie back that donation to the original donor and to the receiver and give you a real-time report on what happened with that specific donation. And now for where Enlighted is available. So as I said before, like we have to, as we grow, we have to partner with different payment systems. When we moved from the version 1 to version 2, we actually rolled back some of the countries that we were working with because we had extremely expensive transaction costs. So We're partnering now with payment system that allows us to have organizations that are working in Chile, Brazil, Mexico, the US, Canada, all of the EU, well, all of the Schengen area, as well as India, Australia, and New Zealand. So organizations that are receiving funds have to be there. Donations can come virtually from anywhere in the world, as long as there's a credit card willing to donate the money and an internet connection. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Gracias, Verónica.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Francisca.
Ya, teníamos otra pregunta. Antes de avanzar, quizás podemos tomar esa pregunta de nuevo en el chat. What suggestions do you have for factoring companies to digitize? Which company can you operate with to digitize these services? Do you recommend anyone? And as we had the presentations before from FinSight, TechQuartier, and FinTech Chile, I guess this was directed to these three companies. Maybe you can answer these questions shortly.
Dominique, Ángel, Friedhelm.
Thank you. I think that's not a question that we, TechQuartier perspective, can answer that easily. But there's more into depth technology or into depth factoring. So I would hold back here and give the room to the others.
Same here. I also didn't feel that the questions were so much in our direction. Maybe you can clarify.
Ya, o quizás también alguien de los startups.
Yes, I think if they can clarify, because up to now we have an important number of factoring companies migrating to e-factoring model, let's say, and with the e-invoice, I think this is all the input we need to digitize the factoring activity. So there is something particular about this, a clarification of this question, maybe.
That was the question.
Okay. Oh, e-invoice, that's the clue. And today the fintech companies oriented to this kind of business is working actively to migrate to a e-factoring business model. So everything is there to migrate.
Gracias, Ángel. Perfecto. Bueno, de todas maneras pueden aprovechar de seguir haciendo preguntas en la siguiente invitación. Lo enviamos a la Expo de Startups, que es un networking virtual, ¿verdad? Que pueden llegar haciendo clic en el botón Expo al costado izquierdo de la pantalla y podrán revisar las presentaciones y hacer también algunas preguntas. Estamos un poco pasados de la hora, pero vamos a tener 10 minutos, 15 minutos, Francisca, ¿tú me dices?
Sí, como 15 minutos.
Ya, pues muchas gracias. Nos vemos allá, nos vemos al final del evento.
Ya.
Bien, ya estamos de regreso. Bueno, finalmente ya el jurado ha deliberado también en función de los pitch. Antes de despedirnos queríamos dar las gracias a todos por la invitación, por la oportunidad de estar aquí con ustedes. Esperamos sigamos colaborando de cara al futuro y sin más preámbulos quiero dejar a Dominique que va a presentar al ganador. Dominique.
thank you very much. And also thank you to all the startups that were pitching and presenting their ideas. I know it's always, you're putting out your heart, and we really value that. So thank you for your honest presentations. And yeah, I think there were a lot of interesting cases in there. A lot of them might be worthwhile looking to the European market. Some others maybe have to rethink it. But we have come to the conclusion to announce one startup that especially stayed in our minds and has a really good relevance for the European market, and that is Enlight 8. Congratulations to that. I think what the arguments were, the main arguments were that the topic is very strong, especially also in Europe. There might be slightly different focus areas in Latin America and Europe, but the general topic is really rising, and the awareness is rising, and the timing is also very good for this these kind of technologies and ideas. As I said, it's highly relevant for the European market. We ourselves are in talks with different corporates throughout that topics, and all of that. It will be interesting how the startup itself and how the idea of the corporate sub-communities basically can be validated and how this will pay out. But in general, congratulations to Enlight 8, and yeah, we will get in touch for the everything that's following up. And yeah, I'm happy to have the talks here. And thank you also to Angel, Friedhelm, and Carlos for a really straightforward conversation about who are the most promising ones. Maybe Enlight 8 wants to say a few words. I don't know, Diego, if we have the time for that.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, basically, I was like literally just jumping up and down when you announced it. I don't have the words. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me as an impact startup. We've had our challenges also as a startup led by a woman out of Latin America. It's also very challenging thing. So I really have no words. Thank you so much for choosing us. My heart is really racing.
Thanks for pitching.
Bueno, con esto daríamos por cerrado este evento. No sé, Francisca, si es que quieren decir algunas palabras finales.
De hecho, no. Muchas gracias a todos por participar. Felicitaciones a Enlight 8 también. Y que tengan un buen día. Ahora están en contacto con todos. Muchas gracias. Y que les vaya súper bien. Mucho éxito en todo. Y también a los otros startups, obviamente.
Muchas gracias. Que estén muy bien. Que tengan muy buena tarde. Chao, chao. Bye.
Muchas gracias. Felicitaciones.
Gracias.
Hasta luego. Y gracias
Chao.
a todos.
Chao, chao.
Chao.